guys, I'm Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber from Kyuujin Cosplay, and today we are back with you guys with Demon Slayer, episode 9 of season 2.
Yes, last episode we kinda laid to rest the Rengoku story. We met with the father and the brother. We basically gave them the last message from their sibling slash son. The brother took it sadly, I mean of course, but the father was just despicable. And I mean, he's an alcoholic. He did not make good choices. Somehow he ended up the mess that he is. That still doesn't justify how he treated his son. Even though we both admit that the ending scene where he found out about the message and he was crying and that was sad, but I'm like, you made this mess. Like, it's your fault if the relationship isn't better. I don't know.
And now it's too late to make it better with this one.
Yeah.
But at least you can try to make it better with your second son.
Hopefully that changes him a little bit. But in any case, we found out about the type of breathing that Tanjiro's father taught his son, sort of. It's called sun breathing.
Is the one that started it all. The first type of breathing.
The one from which all the other breathing learned. You know, the one from which they derived. We got a little bit. We got a name. We don't have much else because the book that has the information was destroyed by the father. So the son is gonna do a little searching on his own, and eventually we might learn more. But in the meantime, we need to help the Sound Ashira, whose introduction was a bit.
Yeah, he tried to kidnap
two girls.
And
one of which is not
wasn't a slayer.
Wasn't a demon slayer. That's a bit fucked up, and Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke fought for that. They were like, fuck off, if you need someone, we will come for you. We'll help you, just leave them alone. If you need someone
pretty, take Inosuke, he's right there.
This is pretty much where we left last episode, so I say we jump right into the next one and see what the mission is gonna be about and why he needs them. So yeah, let's jump into it right away. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to know when these episodes come out, and check out our Patreon for the full reactions. Let's go! Let's go! Oh, we get it.
Yeah.
You might be too innocent. He definitely knows.
Oh, he knows.
Okay. Okay, yeah, Uzui.
I'm a god, you're my minions, do as I say.
He's got a personality.
He got style.
Potential as a lackey. I do believe that.
He looks the part.
He takes everything literally! More than Tanjiro! He doesn't, why would you lie about this? That's what he thinks. Are you gonna give him a chance?
Can you keep up?
Bye, bitches! Are we having an opening?
Hopefully.
A new one we need to learn. It was the ending of last episode. Right?
Yeah, it was.
I can say right away that this is not gonna be a good song compared to the first one. No shame, the bar was high.
When was the second son always better than the first one?
It's because the first one has the nostalgia, the beginnings and stuff, and you get used to it and then they change it and you're like, ah.
Tanjiro!
Well, he's gonna go after them. He's after the women. He's looking for women. For sure.
Don't take the candy.
He needs to stay true to Nezuko. Says the guy who brought them
and you
here.
need to pay for this also.
夜にこうやって光り輝く鬼にはうってつけの場所だろ。遊女になる女たちは大抵貧しさや借金なんかで売られてくる。出世できりゃ金持ちに見受けされることもある。最高位の花魁っていうのは別格で美人は当たり前。それぞれの店が時間も金もかけた稼ぎ頭。特別な女だ。
For a second I was like, doesn't that look like the bad guy?
Maybe.
Kibutsuji? Is it you? Well, he's moved on to little boy.
Oh, does it like that?
遊郭に潜入したらまず俺の嫁を探せ。俺も鬼の情報を探るから。
You have a
His
bride.
bride.
自分の個人的な嫁探しに部下を使うとは。はあ？バカかてめえ。俺の嫁が遊郭に潜入
Yeah, okay. But then it wasn't clear. He did say the story of how people become prostitutes and then get bought and stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry.
そういう妄想をしていらっしゃるんでしょう。
Dude, he's got guts this season.
Zenitsu, yeah.
これがカラス経由で届いた手紙だ。随分多いですね。3人いるからな、嫁。
Okay. Dude, calm down. Because he has that right. If they're all for it, it's good.
なんか文句あるか。
来るときは極力目立たぬようにと何度も念押ししてあるんですが、
They know him
だ
well.
からそう言っただろうが。
具体的にどうするんですか？
そりゃまあ
Blended.
変装よ。
Oh, fuck yeah.
形だね。
Boys doing their makeup, I guess.
いや、ちょっとうちでは。
なんとかお願いできないかね。おかみさんに仕込んでもらえたら光ると思うんだよな。
There's only so much we can do. Oh,
ぐらいならいいけ
じゃあ、一人
Jesus
頼むわ。
Christ. He
He's
has
a
no
charmer.
problem. That's why he has 3 wives.
Oh, yeah.
ど。一生懸命働きます。
This is so okay.
ダメだなお前。女装させたからキレてんのか。何でも言うこと聞くって言っただろうが。
You don't even have to put makeup on Inosuke.
Yeah.
おめえの面だよ。普通に男前じゃねえか。
He's jealous. You'll get there.
なんかあの辺人間がうしゃこら集まってんぞ。
Just taste the
This is
makeup
weird,
off.
the makeup, guys.
They look like the 2 girls who helped the master, right?
One of them was a boy.
Well, the 2 siblings or twins, I don't know.
時と屋の恋夏花魁だ。一番位の高い遊女が客を迎えに行ってんだよ。
嫁、もしや嫁ですか？3人もいるぞ。みんなあんな美女っすか？嫁じゃねえよ。
Zenitsu, first of all, you're too young, okay? Second of all, you have Nezuko.
ちょいと旦那、この子はうちで引き取らせてもらうよ。
荻本屋さんの方から目
It's so
つけてもらえ
easy.
るか。こりゃありがたい。発車だな、イノコ。
Have a good life becoming a prostitute. I mean, it's another culture.
やだ。あたいだけ余ってる。
すごい。変な
Told you.
ぶったくられていたけど、落としたらこうよ。京極屋のわらび姫や時と屋の恋夏よりも売れっ子にするわよ。でもなんか妙にこの子がっちりしてるんだけど。
She's packing a lot of muscles. And don't go look too far. You'll find stuff that, you know. Although in some places, they don't really care.
Yeah, Zenitsu doing rock and roll there.
耳がいいみたいよ。
That's a talent of his. It's pretty good.
Doing good, this Zenitsu.
You needed a talent. You know? She sure is ugly.
自分を捨てた男、見返してやろうっていう気がよ。
She's full of rage.
そういう子は強いんだよ。
便所装置でも何でもいいんでもらってください。
Oh, wow. Well,
見返してやるあの男。あたい絶 原一の花魁になる
He was complaining that, you know, he was more successful with girls than he was, so last picked as a boy, and then last picked as a girl too.
Oh.
人手が足りなくってね。これ運んでくれる？
How can you think this is a boy? A girl, sorry.
おしろいを取ったら額に傷があったもんだから、昨日はおかみさんが烈火のごとく怒っていたけど、働かせてもらえてよかったです。
So he's gonna be like a handy man?
京極屋のおかみさん、窓から落ちて死んじゃったんだって。怖いね。最近は足抜けしていなくなる姉さんも多いしね。
足抜けって何？
足抜けっていうのはね、借金を返さずにここから逃げることだよ。見つかったらひどいんだよ。好きな男の人と逃げ切れる人もいるんだけどね。この間だってスマオイランが。
宇髄さんの奥さんだ。
噂話はよしなさい。
Considering they're supposed to be very strong kunoichi, I'm pretty sure they're not dead.
はい。
In trouble, perhaps, but not dead.
Maybe, yeah.
お菓子をあげようね。一人でこっそり食べるのよ。
I would say do not eat candies from stranger.
Well, they work together in the same house.
スマオイランは足抜けしたんですか？
どうしてそんなことを聞くんだい？
Curious?
警戒されている。うまく聞かないと。スマさんのこと。
昔。
スマオイランは私の兄。
Mother?
Cousin?
Older sister? Okay.
姉とはずっと手紙のやり取りをしていましたが、足抜けするような人ではないはずです。
You're too honest for your own good, kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a good person, but still.
男の人にのぼせている素振りもなかったのに。だけど日記が見つかっていて、それには足抜けするって書いてあったそうなの。
It is a good cover
カッ
story.
プしていてほしい。必ず助け出すから。スマさん。
Like I said, probably in trouble, just not dead.
もしやここに救っている鬼、上限の鬼か。だとするとド派手な取り合いになるかもな。
私今ご飯持って行ってあげたのよ。とりあえず部屋の前に置いてきたけどさ。
マキオ、宇髄の嫁だ。具合が悪い。それだけで連絡が途切れるか。
Has anyone even tried to get in her
いい子
room?
じゃん。慌てると危ないよ。
I love that he can actually calm himself down. What a quiet
お前は
girl.
声が太いから絶対喋るなよ。
どうしろってんだちくしょ
The loudest of the three, usually.
さあさあ、答えてごらん。さあさあ、答えてごらん。
Oh
さ
shit.
あさあ、答えてごらん。お前は誰にこの手紙を出していたの？答えるんだよ、マキオ。
Okay. It's interesting because we just finished Fate Zero, and we kept mentioning that the animation was gorgeous and stuff. And in the ending, I read ufotable table. Anyway, I don't know how to pronounce it, but the same production company, the same design company that did Fate Zero. So I'm like, oh, Fate Zero was so good. And then you go into Demon Slayer, and I am like, we used to say Demon Slayer looks so good, and I'm like, again, this episode, I was watching the ending, and I was like, it's my god, the use of light and the use of colors and stuff is so beautiful in this show. And it's hard to forget because that's one of the biggest highs for this show, the visuals, and it always looks so good. And there you go. Kind of like how we
There you got your answer, right?
kind of like how we point out when we see Mappa too. When we
Yeah.
watched Jujutsu Kaisen, and we were like, oh, Mappa! I recognize it from Dororo and stuff like that. Because I thought he did such a good job there too. And I like that we're picking up on the companies and stuff a little bit more, the animation companies.
Well,
Because they do a good
After
job.
a while, you kind of recognize them, right?
Well, I've been watching anime for a long time. I've never really picked up on the animation company, ever. Like, I think the first time I really remembered it was for Dororo Mappa, because we kept watching the logo in the beginning. And then I recognized it watching, when we saw it in Jujutsu Kaisen and stuff. But, I mean, it makes sense that we would, fangirl over the visuals in Demon Slayer, considering we spent the entirety of Fate Zero freaking out over the animation. In any case. Okay, so they did dress up as girls.
To answer your question, I don't know if that's the case, but for a demon who is working in the red light district and is targeting young girls, that's giving me vibe of Evil Queen from Snow White. Like, she wants to be on top. No one else gonna take her place. She wants to be the queen of the red light district.
It does give a vibe, but then if it's an actual one of the 12, the Kizukis, if it's one of the 12s, I'm like, what's the end game here?
Yeah.
But at the same time, Kibutsuji doesn't really have an end game. It's just he's spreading demons, and he's like, establish yourselves as as characters in this world. And
do your thing. Recap, kill Ashiras, by the way.
Kill Ashiras and stuff. So, we don't know what the other Kizukis are doing, but, I mean, they're not just standing around waiting for Kibutsuji to ask them for something. Like, some of them probably are, but most of them probably have a life, so I would not, like, we spent the first season establishing that demons have emotions, and they can have families, and they can have ambitions, and they can have a whole lot of things. Like, they're not humans, but they're very close to humans, and ambition is something that, if this demon is a Kizuki, because, I mean, it's possible, right, that we would establish one big demon for this arc that we have to face together. And we kind of need, like, after the Mugen Train, we kind of need to keep the level high. If it was just one other demon, what would be the point of sending a Hashira? He's there for his wives, but still.
If it is the same girl that offered the candy, we didn't saw both of her eyes, and there wasn't any number in her eye.
Doesn't mean anything. Like, we've seen Kizukis before who hit their number.
Yeah.
But then again, it doesn't really matter. I don't know if they aren't a Kizuki or not, and I don't know if she's a demon or not. It's just strange that we always flash to her every time we speak of a demon.
That's something suspicious.
But then again, when we see her walking around with the two kids, who could also be suspicious if you think about it, because we cannot judge a book by its cover, especially not in this show, considering Kibutsuji likes to hide in disguises. Like, he could have been one of the women in this place last season and would have fit,
True.
But still, she and the girls could be involved. But then again, we saw them walk around while one of the wives was being tortured by the demon. But then she uses the robes and stuff. So does that mean there's one demon in all three of the houses that took care of the three wives? Or more than one demon spread out over the houses? I don't know.
Honestly, I think that's only one demon.
The one, well, I mean,
spreading out control over every houses.
She could be physically at the house where the one we saw who was being tortured. She could be physically at that house torturing her, because that girl is still in her room, whereas the other one left with the journal and stuff. Which, I mean, I'm on Tanjiro's side. It looks kind of forged. She's married already, although they don't know that, but. And I mean, she's got a job, and she wasn't there as a prostitute or anything, so she would not have run away with a lover or something. Mm-hmm. Although, I mean, it could have happened, but I just don't think it's happened.
She was there to do a job.
Yep. So
she wouldn't have left.
And they're supposed to be really strong kunoichi and stuff, so I trust that they're good enough to do their thing and focus on the job. So then, is it that one demon that took her away? Is there more? I don't know. We're kind of establishing the scene a little bit. We got to see a little bit more also of Uzui.
Yeah.
He's got charms. I think he's an extravagant character. In his own way. Because, I mean, Rengoku was also very extravagant in his own,
Well, it did say he was the god of festival, of the god of flashiness.
And he's got jewels and stuff everywhere. He's all in... Excess is his word. When it comes to looks, when it comes to how he acts and what he does. When it comes to partners, he's got 3 wives.
and his wife do know him well. Do not stand out, right?
Yeah, if they told him, it's because, yeah, they definitely know.
Do not stand out.
But then he showed up with the 3 characters that probably will not follow. Okay. I was about to say they will not follow that rule, and at first they didn't. But then again, they've been doing pretty well, especially Inosuke. I'm actually surprised that he's controlling himself. True. That's really good. I love that, because, I mean, he's usually... Zenitsu is actually louder than Inosuke when he freaks out. But Inosuke is usually the one that screams all the time. So I love that he's staying silent and keeping to his character. Hated the makeup. I thought it was so over... It's definitely a guy who did this.
Yeah.
And it shows. I don't know how they think Tanjiro is a girl. I know he's a young boy, but he's bulked up over the years. He's like 15 or something. At this point, he does not look like a girl, and no makeup, with like barely a change in hairstyle, and he doesn't change his voice. He's not a girl. So, and I guess, I mean, they're not gonna use him as one of the girls.
Well, he does have a pretty huge scar on his face.
Because of that, yeah. So maybe they don't give a shit anymore. But still, the disguise is low-key ridiculous with Tanjiro. With Zenitsu, they just accepted that he's an ugly girl. He's there for his talents, which, by the way, I love.
I was surprised.
I think it's
like,
cool.
Beautifully surprised by his ability to play music. Yeah.
I think it's nice that they're giving him a few things, because season 1, we established mostly that Zenitsu is badass when he's asleep. So we love him for that. And, I mean, he's this kid that's always freaking out when he's awake, but he puts himself down so much, and he doesn't show, he doesn't show his true colors. Like, sometimes we see his motivation, and that's great, but when it comes down to raw talent and just what he can do, unfortunately, except when he's being a creep with the girls, there's not much that's being pushed forward. So I love that we're giving him a talent. Like, we're giving him something that at least makes him shine, because the whole point of this episode was that he's, again, last picked and everything.
I know.
So, we will see. We haven't seen him, investigating, but we'll see what he finds eventually. And yeah, there's not much to talk about, I think, in episode 2.
Well, we think he's just gonna introduce to the entertainment district.
Well, okay, we'll talk about this then. The whole concept of the entertainment district, I do know about it. We saw it in Samurai Champloo, especially. We had episodes in the red light district too.
Yeah, and also cross-dress there also.
To be fair, like, it's something that's still present today in every culture, so we can't really judge it. I think it's interesting that they introduce that in a shonen, because the concept, prostitutes and stuff. In Samurai Champloo, it would make sense. It's an older anime. It's, it's focused at older kids, perhaps. Like, I'm even, crossing the line over, like, is it for kids? Is it for young adults? Samurai Champloo, I'm like, yeah. I think both can enjoy it, but I think Demon Slayer is for adolescents. So to introduce the red light district, to be like, this is where the whole plot is gonna happen. The 3 boys are pretending to be prostitutes, and this is, the whole story. And I mean, they're not hiding much, but you see that they're censoring a lot of what's actually happening. Like, they're not saying straight up why they're here, but they're not hiding also. Because, I mean, the culture in Japan is completely different. Like, this is a huge part of Japan's culture, and it's advertised everywhere. So, for me, I get the initial culture shock of, oh, well, okay, we're doing this with shonen characters, and we're not hiding from it. Okay, great. And then I'm hearing stuff like, oh, I mean, the girls that are here are being bought and stuff because they're in poverty and stuff, and I'm like, it's such a harsh reality if you think about it, because, like, some people choose to do this as a job, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're sold to this life, and then you're watching all these girls, and these young girls especially, who are helping, and I'm like, this is gonna be a very awkward season, right? I don't know. I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt.
All right.
I just think it's interesting that this is the setting.
It's different.
It fits with the character of the Ashira, definitely, with this, flamboyance. Doesn't quite fit with the boys. Tanjiro, Inosuke, like, both of them are so innocent and so naive when it comes to the world.
What is it? What is that?
Yeah. And Zenitsu fits right in, but for creepy reasons, you know?
Just a bit.
I don't know. How are you feeling about the idea that
I'm all for it.
you're all for it? Okay.
I don't mind with
I
them
don't mind either. It's just
doing their job in the red light district.
I don't mind either. It's
It's a
just the
place.
concept. What it's a place. Yeah,
No,
sure,
I mean, I know what it is. I know what's going on over there, and I don't know if they're gonna. I know that this it's not gonna be the main plot. It's just the main place.
they just chose this as
Yeah.
the setting.
I don't know.
I mean, it's not gonna bother me. It's just I'm pointing the fact that it's interesting that they chose this as the setting, and the culture shock of it's pretty normal, and we talk about it openly, and even if it's a kids show or an adolescent show and stuff, it's fine that it happens in a brothel basically. And it's, the age of the little girls that work there too. Sometimes I'm like, especially after they just said that these girls were sold to this place, and some of them are going to have to work eventually to be bought by a rich man. Like the whole concept, and we talked about this a little bit in Samurai Champloo, sounds sad. Like I said, some people choose to be there, but the way they describe it, these people didn't. So that's just the... I don't know, it's a little bother of talking about this so lightly when it's such a serious subject, especially if you introduce it like this, But, it's not going to be the main story, definitely. I don't think so. Like, they're not going to go there. Like in Samurai Champloo, like, it's literally the story because the characters are bought into the brothel.
Yeah.
So we need to address it.
No,
but,
I just think that it's gonna just be the main setting.
Yeah.
But not the main storyline then.
It's just an interesting choice. But like I said, I'm not surprised, and it's part of history and it's part of culture. It's just different. It's so
if
hot
that
here, by
Hoyeren
the
girl
way.
is indeed the demon, why is she using yellow candies?
I don't know.
Do you think that because who have seen Percy Jackson the first movie?
You think it's like a drug or something?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because people and Percy Jackson, spoiler alert, sorry guys if you haven't seen the movie yet.
Well, it could just be candy too. Like, don't spoil anything, but it could just be candy.
No, but why is she that she offered candy to
because Tanjiro...
to Tanjiro, to other people, and
No, she proposed candy to Tanjiro because he's new here and he just brought her gifts and stuff to her room.
The little creepy twins girls were asking, "Oh, I want candies."
Yeah, they're little kids. Like, if it's actually just candy, it doesn't sound weird or anything.
Yeah, but what if it's more than just candies?
I don't know. What would be the point? These girls work here anyway. Like, what are you trying to do? And I don't think she feels threatened. Like, if it's about her being threatened by the competition, I don't think she's threatened by Tanjiro. I'm just... I'm not worried about the candy thing just yet. We're going to keep an eye on that if she turns out to be a bad person or something. And the only reason why we think she might be a demon is because we cut to her every time we talk about demons. So, perhaps. But then again, it could be the twins too, the little girls.
They are creepy.
The little kids in this show are all creepy.
When they're looking at you like that.
Yeah. They do remind me of the two that take care of the master. And they are creepy, so I think that's why. Anyway, it is getting really hot in here, and we've had heat waves around here day after day, so we're gonna go take care of that, and we'll end the discussion here unless you have something else to talk about. No? So yeah, pretty much this is episode 2. And hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it with us. If you want to see episode 3 right away, or episode 10. Yeah, technically.
Yeah.
It is on Patreon already. You can check it out. The link is in the description below.
And if you don't, the next one will be on YouTube next week, guys. So keep an eye for it. Gonna see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.